It did not begin with malware. It began with a resume, a name, a profile photo, a clean work history. A candidate who appeared on a screen, answered technical questions and looked ready to join the team. Except the identity was not theirs. On June 16, 2026, the security firm Nisos published the results of an investigation into a North Korean-linked employment fraud cell. Nisos said a group of up to 22 operatives submitted at least 166,893 job applications to United States companies. The same operation participated in more than 21,645 interviews and secured at least 76 job offers. Those numbers cover activity Nisos traced between December 2024 and September 2025. They come from one investigated cell, not every fraudulent worker and not every remote applicant. But another record makes the pattern harder to dismiss. On April 15, 2026, the United States Department of Justice announced prison sentences for 2 American facilitators in a separate, multi-year remote worker scheme. The Justice Department said stolen identities belonging to at least 80 Americans were used to obtain work at more than 100 United States companies. The scheme generated more than $5 million in illicit revenue for the North Korean government and caused victim companies at least $3 million in legal, network remediation and other costs. This was not a fake video that disappeared after one viral post. It was a system that passed through hiring, payroll, shipping and corporate access. The most dangerous deception was not one perfect deepfake. It was a chain of ordinary signals that appeared to confirm one another. The resume matched the profile. The profile matched the interview. The interview matched the background check. The laptop appeared to be in the right country. Each piece looked like evidence. Together, they became camouflage. To decode this story, we need to correct the headline before it corrects our memory. These were not imaginary artificial intelligence employees performing every task without a human. The public record describes real, technically capable people operating behind false, stolen or borrowed identities. Artificial intelligence was one layer in a larger human system. Nisos reported artificial intelligence-generated resumes, interview coaching, real-time answer assistance and voice training applications. Microsoft Threat Intelligence reported artificial intelligence-enhanced profile images and the use of face-swapping tools to place a worker's image onto stolen employment and identity documents. Google Threat Intelligence said some North Korean information technology workers were experimenting with fake profile photos, deepfakes during video interviews and artificial intelligence writing tools. But Microsoft also published an important limit. Its researchers had observed experimentation with voice-changing software, but had not personally observed a combined artificial intelligence voice and video product used by these actors. That distinction matters. If we flatten every tactic into the word deepfake, we make the story more cinematic and less accurate. The operation did not need flawless synthetic humans. It needed enough tools, enough applications, and enough gaps between departments. Nisos described a formal structure with administrators, managers, team leads, operatives, and outside facilitators. The group tracked applications, interviews, and offers like a sales organization tracks leads. According to Nisos, more than 70% of the roles pursued were in software engineering, development, and data work. Reported salaries ranged from roughly $55,000 to $230,000 per role. Technology companies produced 42.6% of the offers observed in that investigation, followed by consulting, healthcare, and financial services. This was not one person improvising a lie. It was a conversion funnel. At the top of the funnel were identities. Microsoft said workers used false or stolen driving licenses, social security cards, passports, and permanent resident documents. Some profile images were modified into professional settings. Some resumes were assisted by artificial intelligence. Some job histories were supported by false websites and online accounts. Then came the interview layer. The Federal Bureau of Investigation warned in July 2025 that facilitators could attend virtual interviews and meetings on behalf of the hidden worker. Nisos reported that some United States-based facilitators, called natives inside the operation, attended interviews, completed onboarding, managed devices, and even supported drug tests. The point was not always to make one face perform every step. The point was to place the right face in front of each checkpoint. Then came the physical layer. A company laptop shipped to an address inside the United States appears to confirm that the employee is inside the United States. But the Federal Bureau of Investigation described facilitators receiving those devices, installing remote access software and providing a domestic internet connection for workers operating elsewhere. These rooms became known as laptop farms. In the case announced on April 15, 2026, federal searches recovered more than 70 laptops and remote access devices from 8 locations across 3 states. The facilitators collectively hosted hundreds of victim company computers at residences inside the United States. The device was real. The address was real. The network connection was real. The conclusion drawn from them was false. That is the deeper lesson of the fake coworker pipeline. Modern deception often does not replace reality. It rearranges real fragments until they support the wrong story. A real person can use a stolen name. A real laptop can report a misleading location. A real interview can be supported by a stand-in, a script, or live answer generation. When every checkpoint asks only whether its own fragment looks plausible, the complete fiction can pass. And once the worker is hired, the risk changes. The 2025 Federal Bureau of Investigation annual report said complaints identified dozens of victim companies. It said workers had used unlawful company access to remove proprietary and sensitive data and facilitate cybercriminal activity. Google reported a broader shift from salary generation toward data theft, extortion, and support for cyber attacks. That does not mean every person linked to every fraudulent application stole data. It means employment fraud can become insider access before the company realizes the identity problem was never only an identity problem. The higher is the breach. The story also creates a dangerous temptation. Once people learn that foreign workers use stolen identities, every accent, camera glitch, or remote applicant can begin to look suspicious. That is not verification. It is profiling. The official warnings focus on inconsistencies across identity, location, payment, device delivery, and work patterns. They do not tell companies to treat nationality, appearance, or accent as proof. A careful system tests claims without turning ordinary people into suspects. It verifies identity through independent records. It confirms previous employment through known contact channels. It controls where devices are delivered and how remote access is installed. It separates hiring approval from security access. It watches for impossible location changes, unusual remote control tools, and payment details that suddenly move. And when a video call matters, it does not treat the face on the screen as the final authority. The correct question is not, does this look real? The correct question is, what independent evidence would still be true if this screen were false? That question applies far beyond hiring. A voice message from a relative. A clip from a conflict. A screenshot of a payment. A senior official asking to move to another app. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has warned that artificial intelligence-generated voices can sound nearly identical to a trusted person. The protection is not becoming a human deepfake detector. It is moving verification outside the channel that delivered the claim. Call back on a number you already know. Confirm through a second trusted person. Inspect the source, date, and chain of custody. Slow down whenever urgency is doing the work that evidence should do. The fake coworker pipeline succeeded because identity was treated as a picture instead of a process. The next generation of media literacy begins when we stop asking screens to authenticate themselves. 166,893 applications. Not proof that everyone online is fake. Proof that plausible fragments can be industrialized. If you want more investigations that separate verified fact from viral distortion, subscribe to Veil Decoded. And comment verify with the independent check you will use the next time a screen asks for your trust. See the edit before the edit changes what you believe.